since the announcement on the other day that was made by Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary at the White House, along with President Trump, stating that the artist, the Puerto Rican Latin artist Bad Bunny, was going to be the headliner for the 2026 NFL Super Bowl halftime show. And I thought about it and I was like, that's great. That's good. I'm not taking down. I'm not really a fan of Bad Bunny, but I do love Latin music, But I thought to myself, I was like, well, I know Latin music is very popular, but the more popular music that really took over the radio waves over many types of genres of radio that you would hear, it's the Afro beats. And so I thought about it, man, like I've never heard an African artist that's African American, like who's Black African immigrant, okay? And they are in the genre of Afro beats. You know why I say that? I've never seen one headline for the Super Bowl. And the reason why I say that is because there are a lot of American Grammy award-winning African artists that have taken that trophy home, and that trophy is very American, and yet they don't really even think about inviting anyone. And so I know that Jay-Z is the NFL, he's pretty much like the person that has a lot of influence on who comes in to perform, and Rock Nation also carries a lot of that control on that board, which he owns. And I thought to myself, like, man, like, you got Beyonce, she did Black is King. You've got a lot of artists that have collaborated with African people. And see, this is what I think that a lot of Black Americans were trying to explain to our African brothers and sisters, is that when you come over here with preconceived notions about Black Americans based off of the negative things that you hear, and that's what you're going to take. Now, you don't react on the negative things that you hear about white people. You give them second chances, third chances, fourth chances, fifth chances. But when it comes to Black Americans, when they come here, they automatically disassociate themselves. And we all know that, of course, the efforts of our Black American ancestors and helping to get civil rights passed was the doorway for many immigrants of all types of nationalities to come into the United States and to be treated fairly and equal. And that also includes gender and disability, where Black Americans still matter. This is where Black Africans have to understand that our relationship with each other, it is a very powerful and formidable force. Let's take it back. Muhammad Ali in the boxing organization was able to put on a global fight, a global boxing match in Africa. He made sure that America recognized the greatness of Africa and that he was a part of that legacy. Same thing with Malcolm X. When Malcolm X went over to Africa, he made sure that people recognized the greatness of Africa. And even when he went to go and visit Mecca in the Middle East, America got to see what his perspective was, the positive perspective of these places. Same thing with many other well-known celebrities that use their platform and make sure that they include their roots, Africa, so that the world recognizes Africa. See, you know why nobody's really paying attention to the conflict that's going on in Sudan right now? There's babies starving and eating rats in Sudan, but nobody's really giving it a lot of headway, and they're only focused on what's going on in Gaza right now, in Palestine, and the starving children in Palestine. Well, there's starving children in Sudan right now. But see, I think that this broken line that has occurred over this past year, and black people here in America realizing that we had to have this delineation and this divide between African immigrants and ourselves, it has unfortunately slowed down progress. And you're going to continue to see a lot of it slowing down, even with USAID, right? With USAID. See, if there wasn't such a divide in all of this information that we're now being made aware of how much many Africans disdain black Americans. Now, of course, we appreciate our African brothers and sisters that have came to social media and they have put down what they feel about black people, and that they appreciate black Americans, and that we're one, and that it's true. These rumors are true. There is a lot of disdain from African immigrants towards black Americans. Now, what are we supposed to do with that, right? So what we're doing now is we are spiritually disassociating ourselves in certain areas. And I think that if we weren't at this point, USAID really would not be an issue over in Africa, because we would have had more of a voice towards that. But when we found out what was really going on, it has now slowed down the progress of many things. And like I said, look at all of the African artists that have won Grammys. You got Burna Boy. You got Tyler. And then you even got African artists that have not won a Grammy yet, but oh my gosh, they are very well known. And like Rema, or you've got Aya Starr, and you've got, oh my gosh, you got so many more. You have Sade, right? Who doesn't love Sade? But Sade has never been on the NFL, and her music would be loved if she was on the NFL halftime show, integrated in there. Even if she couldn't do a whole show, integrated in there. Just like we have integrated other acts that are black American together. The only West Indian, Jamaican, Bahamian person who's Caribbean descent that has headlined a show, that is Rihanna. And that is because America actually looks at her as a representation of black American, black. And that's just what it is. She was able to highlight a show. She was able to host a show on her own. She didn't need a backup. She didn't need anyone. But you know what? She needed someone to get her on when she first came here and developed as a star in America. Who did she go through? Jay-Z. So that's why a lot of things black Americans are still very relevant for. When it comes to aid, when it comes to social justice, when it comes to arts, entertainment, performance, our weight has a lot of influence throughout the world. Whether people paint bad pictures of us or not, when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, the world stands up and they are influenced by black Americans. I'm not saying we don't have our own problems. I'm not saying that we don't have things that we need to improve in as a people, of course. And I'm going to make a video about that as well. Accountability. However, we have done so many great things in this world. I mean, the efforts that we have put towards this world of being one of the most suppressed people in history. And I'm going to tell you another reason on why the artist Kendrick Lamar and his performance, it resonated with many people that would have normally not understood or did not want to make a connection to them. So I'm not saying that all people outside of our black American race, our Black American identity understood where he was coming from or even appreciated after he did that performance on last year. But I'm going to tell you this, many people did understand what the cause was, what the message was when they saw that red, white, and blue. I'm going to tell you why. So when you see all of these protests that were going on, like in LA and all across the United States, what flags were they primarily waving in the air? There was not many U.S. flags. The majority of the flags that were being waved in the air came from other nations that represent these people. And see, when you want to show an identity of something that you belong to, such as a flag, that flag is going to say a few things to the people that see how proud you are when you wave it, right? They're going to see that that flag represents your identity. It represents your history. It represents your culture. It represents your ancestry. And it also represents your future. So if you're in this country saying that you want to have immigration rights, and yet you're flying and waving a Mexican flag, that means that this is not your country. This means that you're a guest here. But you don't really want American citizenship because your identity is not in that red, white, and blue. Your identity is in that red, green, and white. Or any other nation, a flag that was flown that does not represent the United States of America. That red, white, and blue that Black Americans represent, it opens up pathways for other people of other nationalities and groups of individuals that immigrate into this country. We respect the flag because you know why? It took our blood. Our blood is entrenched in that flag. Our blood is also in that red in that flag. Yes, that blue represents our tears. And that white, it represents the life that was taken from our people. Coming to America through that transatlantic slave and then beating the life out of our ancestors. Yes, all of the lynchings. Yes, that represents the spirits, the whiteness, the ghost. That's what it represents. And that's the reason why people who are supposed to be so oppressed as we are, as we have been, we still represent that flag when we protest, when we do anything. Because why? Because we have stock in it. There's an investment in there. We've been investing in that for the past 500 years. And that's one of the other reasons on why America has to take Black Americans seriously. You can't talk about patriotism without talking about a Black American and what we have done for this nation. No, you can't do it. For the new founding of the nation of the United States, you cannot take away from all that we have contributed into this country, and it flows in our music. And the message is clear, and that is the reason why we feel such a responsibility to advocate, to make sure justice is the right of every American citizen and our visitors and those who want to become true American citizens. That's the reason why we advocate, we have marched, we have fought, we have advised, we have begged for people to listen to our experience. Our experience comes through not only in the flag, but it also comes through our music. It comes through our hair, our style, our clothes. Our culture is a nation in itself. And that flag, when we fly it in the Olympics, when we go all over the world, it's recognized. When we perform across the globe or we perform on national television, we don't have no little flags additional to the U.S. flag. When we get on that stage, we have a political address that has to be made, whether it's in hip hop, R&B, pop, whatever. We use that platform as a way to educate the globe on our plight, on our causes, on other people's causes. But we will never on that Super Bowl stage take a moment like that and raise another flag of our roots. We know where we come from, and we are an extension of Africa. We are the new nation in another nation. Beyonce, right? She has done a lot of Americana. Even now, Cowboy Carter, even Black Panther, with her Formation album when she was in the Super Bowl the first time. Even Black Panther, that's very American. That's Black American culture. That stood for advocating for ourselves and advocating for justice. Right? That represented blackness. Whether they saw it as resistance or not, it's still a part of the American story. And when you see like these country music acts come through, they use a lot of red, white, and blue because that represents America. You don't see them flying a Polish flag, or them flying a French flag, or them flying a flag from Spain, or flying a flag from Australia, because a lot of these country artists come from different parts of the world, but they know that their crowd, their fans, this market here in America, it's Americana. Gonna have to get with that. But let me know what you think. Please like, share, and subscribe. Black Americans do matter. We do matter. We matter in politics. We matter in culture. We matter in trends. We matter in music, arts, and entertainment. We matter in STEM. We matter in law and justice. We matter. Black American lives do matter. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And I appreciate each and every one who's been able to subscribe and to just even take a moment to hit like or to even share your comment. I look forward to reading for your comments. Thank you so much and have a blessed rest of your day.